have a confession to make. I made a huge mistake in 2025, and I want to help you avoid making this mistake as well, okay? As you all know, what we do is we build a content engine for companies, and we help them get more qualified leads through that content engine. Creating the content was great, making the ads was great, managing the ads and being able to adjust was pretty easy. Getting the qualified leads was actually pretty easy because we had that whole cohesive engine running. But the biggest problem was, it wasn't the qualified leads. It was the follow-up process and the sales process that came after that. We worked with a handful of home improvement businesses, so we were pretty good at gauging the emotion and certain triggers to have people opt in to the form and opt into the service that they're providing. However, in the home improvement industry, the biggest problem is that there's a lot of price shoppers out there. And when you get a lot of price shoppers, they're gonna always gauge you on the price immediately. We didn't put much effort at first into creating a really good offer that it'll make them feel stupid saying no and not make them want to go to another company. And also developing a follow-up cadence with literally every single lead. A lot of the people who are looking for these type of services for like any type of home improvement, like fence installation, landscaping, painting, drywall, and construction, truth is that they have the money to spend most of the time. The only thing is that there's no real emotional and financial incentive that goes behind that service, and we needed to make that more clear and obvious, and also send them reminders on that and put deadlines to things. So when I started realizing that these companies didn't have a really strong sales process, really didn't matter about how great the creatives were. The sales at the end of the day is what really matters, and that's why they invested into us to help them bring more sales. But the issue is that their sales wasn't even that good. Some companies had sales reps, some didn't. And these sales reps, you gotta kind of question, like, were these actual real sales reps? Probably not. They were probably just some like admin workers that just got picked off the street and just have them upsell or just upsell the service to them, not knowing how to really position the prospect. The thing is, when it comes to running ads or getting qualified leads, the only reason you want to start doing that is because you already have a strong referral base that's bringing your company more profit, so you could reinvest that profit into getting more leads, into nurturing them. However, there's always a sales cycle that goes on no matter what. Most of the time, no matter what industry you're in, you're not going to close the sale immediately. You're going to have to find a way to nurture them throughout the process, right? And even though we have a good nurturing system, what we come to find out too was that if you have a good nurturing system, a good follow-up, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to convert to sales too, because we don't know what's going on the back end in regards to the conversations that are being had, how you're treating people. And there's one company in particular that we're working with. When I started to really look at the conversations that we're having with prospects, a handful of them were very unhappy at the service that they were providing. So it doesn't matter how many touch points we have. It doesn't matter what the offer is. If the service that they're providing at the finish line is horrible, they're just not going to sign up with you. I'll never forget the time I showed up to one of the shoots. It was the first shoot that we did with them. And I saw the schedule of when they were supposed to have the service done for one client. I went to the site and I saw the homeowner outside, and the homeowner was like, yeah, I'm waiting for them, but they never confirmed the time with me. Immediately, that's a red flag. I'm like, okay, so the man paid his deposit and he never got a reminder of when they're coming through, and no one let him know the exact time. So then come to find out, I call the corporate office of the client that we're currently working with, and on the schedule it said that they were going to be there at 9 a.m. But then he's like, no, tell them we're going to be there at 3 actually. That's a really big difference. That's a 6-hour difference. And people are busy. They're not just going to be staying home all day. The client was pretty angry about that. But again, that wasn't our role. My role was to, at that point, to film the ads and just film them doing the work. If we take on the client and their goal is to be profitable with their content, there's so much that goes on the back end before the front end with the content. And the first thing that we need to look at always is how good is their sales process. If their sales process is good, everything else that we create when it comes to the incentives, it comes to the content, is going to be super, super easy to convert. It's going to make everybody's lives easier. But if your sales process, if your customer service is not good, it's only going to hurt your company. It doesn't matter what type of marketing company you work with, you're going to waste money on it because your foundation and how you get clients across the finish line is not strong enough. So really for us, it really doesn't matter. Like, generating leads is really not enough. What we learned with content marketing, it's just not all about leads, because if you have that issue with sales, if you have that issue with fulfillment, you won't be able to handle more leads. You're gonna need to fix that foundational piece with your current prospect, your current hot prospects, and your current clients before you bring those people on, because those people who you actually convert into clients, they're gonna refer you to more people, and that's essentially what you really want. But if that's hurting, then that goes to show why you're not profiting. And for us, we need to really do the due diligence in first seeing which are these companies making sales, because the only companies that we're going to work with, we should be working with, are companies who are making money already and have the bandwidth and room to reinvest and grow even more, because they want to get more business opportunities. They want to go ahead and retire early, whatever really their goal is, but they already have a good track record of success, especially with client fulfillment and with sales. So generating leads was not enough, but you know, there's certain steps to it. There's certain layers and processes to it. Like, what happens after the lead comes in is very important, and how it gets nurtured, how many touch points that we have. But then after that comes the actual dealing with the client and making sure that that is at a 5-star experience. So once that's all at a 5-star experience, the fulfillment, getting the client to the finish line, whoever the representative is, talking with them, and making sure we had the good amount of touch points with the right offer, that's only going to help the content. That is probably the biggest mistake that we made, was not seeing there was a good sales track record. And you cannot take for granted what they say, like, yeah, when somebody comes in, I'm usually closing them. You cannot take their word. You got to see it documented that it actually converted those people into sales, and not just take their word for it. Another thing too that I want to mention, taking split payments, and I don't know why I made this mistake again, but taking split payments, handling all the fulfillment, and then delivering it. One, we should have never delivered the product, because then it gives them, and that's a very easy way for them to rob you of the hard work that you put in. And that's where you put in trust with some clients, and they end up ripping you off. They don't have the funds to really reinvest, if they don't have that mindset. And you really got to vouch that out in the beginning. Moves on desperation really hurt us at some point, but we were able to recover pretty quick. And overall, if there's no track record, then there's no need to try to force something. Even if it's a split payment, they might not even have the payment for the next month, because they're just so tied up and they don't know how to manage their money. So it's not worth it to try to even sell those clients. Making sure the follow-up, the offer was good more than anything. The creatives were great, the video was great, but the offers was something we needed to really focus on, the follow-up process. But before all of that is, have they been proven to bring in sales and treat their customers right? I hope you found this valuable. I hope you don't make the same mistakes that I did, you know, when we're dealing with these clients. And you know, if you're a company that's watching this, and again, you want to grow the company, make sure you have certain things dialed in before you start spending money on ads or hire a marketing company. But if you like this video, like, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to drop a lot more content like this throughout the year, and I'll see you in the next one.